Hi guys, how's it going? My name is Zach. I am one of the territory sales managers here at Kalogon. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today to go over how to set up your Orbiter Med cushion. To begin, we're just gonna let some people take some time to join in and get settled. So we're gonna play a quick little video on Orbiter Med. And as we're playing the video, feel free to chat in, let us know where you're from, how you heard about Kalogon, and I look forward to seeing all your questions and going over how to set up your orbiter med cushion. Perfect. So for anyone that joined in towards the end and missed that video, we were just giving a quick little overview of our E2609 coated cushion, the Orbiter Med. So anyone that missed it, this is Orbiter Med right here. It is E2609 coated. The cool thing about Orbiter Med is the base layer, and the base layer is fully customizable. And then on top of that, we have 5 different air bladders, which you can further customize using our phone app. But today, we're not going to really dive too much into Orbiter Med and the cushion. We're going to talk about setting up the Orbiter Med on your wheelchair. So today I have a manual wheelchair here that I'm going to be setting up the Orbiter Med on. So I'm going to be setting the cushion up, and then I'll be mounting the control box, showing you some different mounting options and how we can attach that to the wheelchair. I'll give a few more minutes for people to join in. But again, if you have any questions, please feel free to chime in at any time. It doesn't have to be a question necessarily on the setup, but if you have questions in general on Orbiter Med and our different even if it was on our Bondar back, feel free to chime in and ask questions. But today's main focus will be setting up the cushion and kind of answering any questions about that. So I'll give a few minutes for people to join in, and then we'll get started. But for anyone who wasn't at the beginning, my name is Zach. I am one of our territory sales managers. I cover about 51% of the country, so a good amount of the territory. So if you have any questions, feel free just to chime in. My socials not my socials, but like my email and phone number will be linked at the bottom in the chat towards the end. If you are in my territory, please feel free to reach out afterwards with any further questions you have that weren't answered during the video. But we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing with mounting your Orbiter Med cushion is you're going to want to make sure it's the properly sized cushion for your wheelchair. So right here we have a 15 by 15 cushion, and this is about a 16-inch wide wheelchair by 16 inches deep. So it's a little bit improperly sized, but it'll fit for the most part during the demonstration. So I'll go ahead and start installing it now. So first, you're just going to want to make sure that when you position the Orbiter Med into the wheelchair, The hose exit is coming out the back right. So you just want to make sure that you put it in like this, so that that hose is coming out the back right of the cushion of the wheelchair right here. So we provide Velcro on the bottom of the Orbiter Med. That way it can attach nice to the Velcro on the wheelchair base. That way it doesn't slide around and move any positioning. Um, and then once you have this in here, you're going to want to turn your wheelchair around, and then you're going to want to find a good mounting spot for that control unit. So for the control unit, you're just going to want to make sure typically it's towards the center of the wheelchair. It's not really going to affect any center of gravity much. So for this wheelchair, we have a couple of different options. We can mount it right on this bar right here, or we can go underneath and mount it on the bar underneath down here. So at Kalogon, we provide two different mounting options. We provide a mount pouch bag, which is like a little, almost like a little mini backpack for the Orbiter Med. It holds right there. It holds the control unit really nice, allows you to mount it on really any different surface that has two attachment points. But for this demonstration, I'm going to use our 3D printed mount. So this is our mount attachment hardware. It's 3D printed, so if you had a wheelchair that needed a little bit wider or something like that, we can make different versions of this as well. So just reach out to your TSM if you had that issue, and we can kind of work with you in that sense. But to attach it, it's pretty easy. So you're going to find that bar you want to attach it to. So we're going to use this bar right here. Then you're going to want to unscrew one of the screws so that way the back is kind of loose. You can put it around the bar. Just find the bar you're going to attach it to. Start tightening. And then it's all going to be a 4mm Allen key to tighten. So you're just going to come right here and tighten it down. This one has the extended length screws, so it takes a little bit longer to screw it in. But I'm going to attach it fully so you guys can see. Let me make sure no one's chatting in right now. No questions yet. So again, if you have any questions during the process, feel free to chat in. And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be about the setup. Just any questions you have about Orbiter Med or Bondar, I'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm just tightening this down so we don't have any movement. But once you have your mount attached, you can then attach your control unit to the cushion through the air hose and kind of get that process going. So we grab my control unit right here. So you're going to want to make sure you take the control unit, open this gray lever right there, and then you take the air hose, you attach it in, make sure it's nice and in there, close that lever. If you don't have the air hose all the way pushed in, that gray lever actually won't close. So it'll kind of like block you from closing it. So you just want to make sure that air hose is all the way in. And then from here, you can take the control unit, line it up with that mount, and slide it into place. So now that it's attached to the mount, that control unit really won't go anywhere unless you come to the back right here, press down on the lever, and slide it right off. So there is a quick release lever on the back of the control unit. So if you are using the 3D printed mount, you're going to want to know where this lever is. So it's a little press down lever right here on the back side of your control unit. When you press that down, it allows you to slide that mount out of the back of the control unit. So again, just to show you, take the control unit, line it up with the mount, here, click into place, and then you're good to go. And then from here, what you're going to want to do to really get the benefits of your Orbiter Med is connected to the your Kalogon app. So to get to your Kalogon app, you're just going to want to go to the App Store. So if you have an iPhone, Android, it's going to both be on the iPhone or Google Play Store. But you just come here, you search Kalogon, and then this little icon is going to pop up. And then you just go there, download it. And then from there, you can see once you're connected, you can see on that picture right there, the settings will pop up, and it actually shows you the air bladders from like an aerial view. So the left side of your phone is going to be like the left side of the cushion, right side is the right side, back and forward, and so on and so forth. And it allows you to click on the different cells and adjust them independently. So if you have someone with an existing pressure injury, you can go into the cell where you know that injury is located, lower that cell down, and then save that, and then those settings will be saved in your control unit, and they won't be changed unless you go in there and adjust that. So Do we have any questions so far on the setup process for Orbiter Med? Kind of why I chose this location for this wheelchair? Anything like that? I will go. I'll move the mount to show another mounting point, just to show you that we can mount it in different places. Um, and then we're also able to mount on power chairs as well. So it's not just on manual wheelchairs, but we can mount on power chairs as well. Any different brands, so Permobil, Quantum. We have a will right there in that picture. So we're really able to use to work with different power chairs as well as different manual chairs. Um, that mount pouch makes it really easy to mount it on different surfaces, as well as it makes it a little bit easier for transferring. So if you do have multiple wheelchairs you're going to be using your cushion on, we always recommend letting your ATP or your territory sales manager know. That way, whenever you order your cushion, we can provide two different mounts for you. That way, if you're transferring it from a manual chair to a power chair, you have two different mounts. That way, you're not having to go and unscrew them out each time like this. But once it's unscrewed, I will show you guys the different places we can mount it on. So typically for a manual chair like this, we've seen it on this bar, but more times than not, they're going to be mounting it on a lower point underneath the chair to really keep that control box out of harm's way per se. So let me just take this off. Bear with me a second. So now that this is off, I can show you down here. It's another point that we attached on. So I'm just going to come down here, through this on real quick, and then you guys will be able to see another attachment point. So I got it on down here, and then went back up so you guys can see on camera. So now that mount is down here at the bottom underneath. So then we can take the control unit and same thing. You're going to want to make sure it's lined up with the little square down there. And then from there, you just and slide it into place. And then that control box is mounted down there underneath. So you can kind of mount it in different areas based on your different situation. If you're not going to really, be accessing it too much, you can kind of go with the lower mount, or if you're going to be moving it around a lot, you can go and have it mounted on like a higher point for easier access. But with the mount pouch, you could also have the mount pouch attached on each side of the canes here, and then you can just have the little clip to remove it whenever you want to transfer it. But are there any questions so far on the mounting process and setting up your Orbiter Med? Okay. I think I got a question here. Yes, Troy. So we do provide Velcro. That way you can zip tie the hose and remove it. That way it's not like hitting the wheel well or anything like that. Oh. So you could just like zip tie this and get this out of the way. We're also able to customize that hose length. So if you knew you're going to be putting on a manual chair like this, where you might not need that full hose length, we can actually shorten that in the manufacturing process and make that shorter. So we could even make that, 12 inches. It's a lot shorter that way. It's really not taking up any space there, and you're not going to be hitting the side. But yeah, you can zip tie it, and you won't kink the air hose or anything like that through zip ties. Yeah. So Kelly, how we would determine the different hose lengths? You would measure it from the starting point outside the back of the wheelchair, the cushion, to the tip of the hose connector with how far you need it to be measured. So it would be like that total length from the starting point all the way to the end of the plastic piece at the bottom. So you would basically would measure all the way up until this piece for that length. So, Give the chat. These are some other images of like the where we have it mounted on different wheelchairs. For the most part, though, that is how you set up your opener med on a manual chair here. Um, so you feel free to ask as many questions as you guys have. You have me for another 15 minutes. Um, and yeah, be sure to make sure I answer everything. Yeah, yeah. So Troy, it's not required on the order form, but as you're going through the order form, it's towards the end for additional adjustments or just additional add-ons. You can customize the hose length in there. If you don't have that selected, you'll just get the standard hose length. Um, Yeah, so on the order form, we have a bunch of different customizations. So you can choose a pre-ischial ridge. We have lateral thigh, lateral pelvic supports. We can choose 1, 2, or 3 inch customizations of both of those. We can do a medial pommel. We can do 2, 3, or 4 inches in that as well. And then we also can do different customizations for leg length discrepancies. We can do a scrotal well cutout. We can do gluteal extensions. We can even do things off the order form. So if you had someone that had a really, intense case where you needed to do something that just wasn't on the order form, just let your independent rep or your territory sales manager know. And then we can work with our production team and see if we can make it happen for them. As well as extended sizing, we offer some extended sizing. We can go up to 27 inches in width or depth, but then we've also gone above that. So if you had someone that was, let's say, in the 30-inch range, 30 inches wide, we've been able to accommodate. So just let us know if you see something that you need to try to accomplish that's not on the order form. Just reach out to your territory manager, your independent rep, and we can see if the team can make it work for you. That's the one nice thing about being a smaller company still. We're able to get really custom, work with our customers, and get really hands-on in that sense. So that's another picture of the Orbiter Med just with different contours there. That one's gonna be a little bit more aggressive with, I think that has like 2 or 3 inch customizations on it. So we can get pretty contoured or we can get pretty minimal. I have a cushion right here in office that is pretty minimal with the customizations like that, pretty flat, and that still satisfies the E2609 code. And then I also have the cushion that we were demonstrating with today that's pretty contoured there at the front. So we can get really custom. We can even do asymmetrical laterals. So if you need to have, one side with a 2 inch lateral and one side with a 1 inch lateral, even 2 inches on one side, none on the other, we can get really custom in that sense. And then when you can really get custom with is the air bladders, how you can really further customize that in the field once the cushion is delivered. We don't require a pressure mapping whenever you get a delivery, but if you have a pressure map, you can really see where someone has those hot spots and really dial in the cushion for their body. So it's pretty neat how you can really get those real-time adjustments. Don't have to go and, remold someone or shave down any foam. You can just adjust the air bladders and have those adjustments right there happen in real time. Yeah, so average weight of the cushion control unit is about 4 to 5 pounds, depending on the size of the cushion. So the control unit itself is about 2.5 pounds, so it's not really heavy. And then the weight of the cushion is just determined really based on the size of the foam. So the bigger they are, it's a little bit heavier they're going to be, but they're typically no heavier than, I know we're less than like a gel cushion, but combined it's about 4.5 to 5 pounds. And then each cushion will come with 2 covers. We have an outer cover, which can be removed and machine washed. And then we have an inner incontinent cover, which will actually have a layer of sunmate foam sewn into it. So like the image shows, we have the 2 covers, and then the incontinence cover will actually have that layer of foam sewn into it, just to give some more immersion in that top layer. So the outer cover can be removed and machine washed, and then we just recommend if you're gonna clean that incontinence cover, just to clean it with like a disinfectant. Just don't use like a washing machine for the incontinence cover, as that foam is sewn in. Um, and then just air dry. We don't recommend using a dryer for the covers either. and then also no bleach whenever you're cleaning covers. Great question so far, though. Do we have any other questions out there? I know we haven't talked about it much, but we also have another product. It's our E2617 coated back, the Bondar. So if you had any questions about our new backrest, feel free to chime in with those as well. We'll have another live Q&A here coming up, probably doing a setup for the Bondar to really go into how we set that one up on the different wheelchairs as well. I appreciate everyone, taking the time to meet with us today and chiming in. We'll keep the live Q&A going for a few more minutes. If there's any other questions, please feel free to chime in, chat those in. And if we didn't answer your questions, I know at the end of this, in the chat, we'll have my email, the other territory manager's email, and then we'll have just like our contact email. That way you can reach out with any questions you have. If you just got a cushion recently, reach out to us. We'll love to get on like a video call with you and help set up the cushion, answer any questions you might have, and stuff like that. One thing that I didn't mention too, that once you have your cushion all set up and good to go, we do have a few accessories available. So one of our accessories is this extender cord. So it's a little attachment that attaches to the front of the control unit and then gives you an extra power button and charging port. So as you saw when I had the control unit mounted underneath the wheelchair, it was kind of hard to access the front of that and to kind of hit that power button. So the extender cord is a really nice accessory that allows you to take basically an extension of that base of the control unit and then have it, attached to the front of your wheelchair, just have it floating for free access, stuff like that. Just gives you that extension that you don't have to worry about going to the back of your wheelchair each day to make sure it's turned on or even charging in that sense. It has like the light indicator to show you the power is on and the charging indicator. And then another accessory we have, if you do have a power chair, is our XLR charger. So this little charger is going to allow you to charge your control unit directly from the XLR port on the power chair. So again, it's not a necessary accessory, but it does allow you to just charge your cushion on the go if you forget to charge it overnight. Your cushion can be used while it's being charged. So if you do have that accessory, you do have that port on your power chair. Let's say you forget to charge it overnight, you're out and about, your battery's about to die. You could then just attach that to your power chair and charge your cushion while you're out and about. So 2 little accessories, and then you can also always get extra covers for the cushion as well, and stuff like that. But any other questions in the chat? If we don't have any other questions, I can let you guys go a few minutes early. Again, I do appreciate taking the time today to meet with us. We're going to try to do more of these setup type calls here in the future. Just to make sure everyone's really comfortable, familiar with the products. You're welcome. And then I believe Tracy just put all of our socials in the chat. So we have our emails in there for me as well as Andy, as well as the marketing email, as well as all of our socials. So if you're not following us already, please follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all those fun channels. I know the team tries to keep up to date with the fun TikTok trends, so check us out on there. Give us a like, give us a repost, and yeah, follow the journey. We have a lot of exciting things coming here in 2026. So yeah, thank you all for taking the time to meet with us today. I hope I answered all your questions, and if I didn't, please feel free to shoot me an email after the fact, and I will happily answer any questions you may have or jump on a video call. So I think I saw one last question come through. Do you need a pressure map? No. So though it's always, the preferred method for any new cushion delivery of having that pressure map to make sure, someone's sitting on the cushion with not too much pressure. It's not necessary for our Orbiter Med to have a pressure map for delivery. The cushion will actually sense how someone's sitting and will adjust around them. So if you get on the cushion, it'll come loaded in with our default settings, which we found have worked for a wide variety of people. And then once you sit down, if the cushion notices like you sitting improper, like putting too much pressure on one certain way or one certain side, it'll actually lower that pressure for any high pressure points. So It won't like allow you to put too much pressure on any one certain area, even right out of the box without a pressure map. So it's not required for setup. It is, it does help really dial the settings in, but no, pressure mapping is not required for. Another great question. Okay. Yeah. So, well, I think I might have had another question. Oh, just trying to type to answer a question. But no, I think, like I said, if we no more questions are here, I think we're good to go, guys. And thank you all again for taking the time to meet with us today.